Welcome to Triangle BNI. Today's show is brought to you by Simply Done Concierge. Busy time of the year. Maybe school is ending. Maybe vacations are going to start here next few weeks. Got a lot of things you need to get done. Maybe some spring cleaning, housework. Mary and her team at Simply Done can take care of you and help you be in two places at once. So if you go to simplydoneconcierge.com, let Mary know what you're looking for. She'll be in touch and help you be more productive and scratch some things off your to-do list. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning. Each week on Triangle BNI, we bring you a local small business success story. If you're not familiar with BNI, it is Business Networking International, the world's largest networking organization. Our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and surrounding towns. We have 32, I think maybe soon to be 33 chapters that meet every week. Our goal is to help each other grow our businesses. And this week, we do not have a guest for you. Had some scheduling issues, but I'm getting ready to lock up the rest of May. And thanks everybody for moving over with us to Tuesday. If you can put this on your calendar, it works for you. Have some good guests coming up. But today we're just going to talk about some stories. And if you want to reach out, Amnon, they can send you an email or a note
Oh
or
yeah, they
something.
can
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. Send us a chat. Tell us. Um, so I don't know in Israel if you grew up playing sports.
I did, but
Hmm.
I'm not. I was at the Y, so I was
Okay.
playing basketball
Yeah. Well, that's a sport.
and soccer,
That's
and
allowed.
I
So
was.
yeah. So it got me thinking. My nephew is a freshman pitcher at William Peace University, baseball player. And it was fun watching his year because as a freshman coming in playing a college sport, you have no idea how much time you're going to get, how many games he's going to pitch. You just don't know. And he just kept pitching and had some good results. And the coach was like, oh, let's use him a little bit more. And by the end of the year, the season did not end the way they wanted it to, but he was second on the team in innings pitched as a freshman and had good numbers amongst other freshmen within the conference. So it was a lot of fun watching somebody I know play college sports because I have two boys. One kind of wanted to, the other one may have wanted to, but he didn't have the skill set to do it. I wanted to play college tennis, but I ended up going to the University of Tennessee where there were two Olympians on the tennis team, and it was a top 20 ranked team. And I tried out, and I knew after about the third point in the first game of the first set that I do not belong with this group of players. But it was funny just watching Ryan, my nephew, going to a couple of the games and talking to my brother, who is his dad, about what they went through and do you want to play in college? Because a lot of us played sports in high school, but the first question was, do I want to play in college? And so if that answer is yes, then it's like, okay, what do I have to do? Well, you got to work out on your own. You got to practice, playing games, and hopefully you meet the right coach. They recruit you, and things fit in well. And it did at Peace for Ryan. Um, and so it just kind of got me thinking the other day about some of the sports I and some of my family members growing up playing, and what was, what we thought we'd have a shot at. And I'm sure for those of you watching, many of you probably played a sport in junior high or high school, or you thought, I'm not any good, but I'm going to take this shot on the basketball goal in my driveway and pretend you're, Michael Jordan or LeBron or, whatever generation you grew up in. Or for those of us that golfed, you're on the last hole. I grew up playing at Chevy at Hills, which is no longer there, but it was off of Capitol. As you go under 540 headed to Wake Forest, it was the first light on the left. But we would of course, this was the 70s, so we were Nicholas and Palmer and Trevino and all those guys like, oh, here's the putt to win the Masters. You're like, oh, I missed. And just, having a lot of fun doing that.
Huh?
But soccer, the where Capitol Boulevard is now, as you're heading towards 540 from the Beltline, you get on Capitol, head towards 540. All those strip centers there used to be the mini city, and there were just
Yeah,
a ton of soccer fields there when we were growing up. and just wide open. And I never got playing soccer. I tried to play it after Becky and I got married. Some friends of mine had an adult league, and I played. It was fun. I enjoyed the running.
It wasn't. It's still not an American thing.
No, it's
It's a
better. Yeah,
European and then
it's
and
better.
South
Yeah,
American.
because the MLS has the Major League Soccer has European players coming over, and there's NBC is carrying it every week, and so there's more of an interest.
Right. But in
But
Israel, that was, I mean, that was the national
oh
sport.
yeah, anywhere in Europe,
Yeah.
it's soccer or football over there. Rugby? Did you guys play that much?
No,
Yeah,
I think that's only, I think it's only in England.
it,
I don't know
yeah,
that they play
Australia,
it.
New Zealand.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Well, the
yeah,
colonies.
yeah, and then the other one that I've still yet to watch. I keep thinking I want to have somebody explain it to me so I can understand it. Is cricket,
Yeah. No.
and I mean, they could play like over 3 days. And I pitch to you overhanded. I've got to bounce it. You hit it, and I run to the post, and then I run back.
I
But I don't know,
I
So
I don't know anything
yeah,
about the rules and
yeah. But
how you play.
um, but I was thinking about this the other day. So in first and second grade, we lived in Memphis, Tennessee, and I would have been, I guess, 8. First and second grade, yeah, Memphis, yeah, been 8. So it was my first chance at Little League baseball, and I had these dorky, hugely thick glasses, just still blonde. Just, thankfully, the lenses have gotten thinner, so I don't look.
Milk,
Oh gosh, yes,
milk,
bottle of
milk.
milk bottles. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, 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 and dark glasses. And so I was picked by a team, and don't remember who I knew on the team or whatever, but it was. I love the local sponsorships on Little League teams. This was sponsored by Hunter's Body Shop. I
Well,
still remember the name. And in the first game, they had 2 fly balls. I was in right field, which tells you right off the bat how much talent I had, because generally they stick one of the worst ones in right field. And somebody hit 2 fly balls to me. I caught both of them, and I don't remember anybody else hitting me another ball again. But
oh well,
yep,
it's
but
for fun.
yeah. And so I played then we moved to Columbia, Tennessee. I don't think I played there. Then we moved to Richmond, Virginia, 5th and 6th grade, and I did play there. And in my neighborhood, Steve Franklin, the DeLuca brothers, and a couple other people, we would just, the beauty back then, and I don't want to play the old guy, get off my lawn stuff, but there is a big difference between back then and today. We didn't have many things to do. There were 3 TV channels, so it's not like we could binge watch, and we never had a video game. So go outside and play, and you make up your own stuff.
Yep.
And there would be about 6 or 8 of us. We always tried to have an even number, and if we didn't, that person was the all-time pitcher. And we made up. We would bring something that would be first base. It could be a box. It could be a hat. It could be whatever it is. That's first base, and then second base, and then third base. And we played in this open field, and if you hit a fly ball to the woods, it was an automatic home run. And that's how we set up the game. And we played for hours. And we pretended back in the day the Dodgers were big, and I always loved the name Manny Mota, who played right field for the Dodgers. I always wanted to be Manny Mota. And we'd try to be the first baseball player that I fell in love with was Roberto Clemente with the Pirates. And he would catch the ball. He had a basket catch where instead of catching it like this, he'd turn his glove, and he would just go. We all try to do that. And we'd get hit in the chest with the ball because you're not as gifted back then. Sometimes trying to catch those high fly balls, but we would always pretend we were somebody because we wanted to be that and play in the World Series. All right,
Something to shoot for.
3-2 pitch, bottom of the ninth, World Series, game tied. Got a runner on third, you're up. It's like, and we'd do the fake announcing, and stuff like that. But it was a lot of fun, and I guess most of us who play sports believe we were better than we probably were. Not a lot,
Probably
not
because,
a lot, but
but
like, you know what? Because like I grew up playing tennis, and I played tennis, organized tennis through all kinds of different levels in different cities we lived in so we moved to Daytona in '99. So I played competitive tennis from like 73 to 99 at some level, you know. and we moved to Daytona Beach, and everybody there played golf. So I started playing golf. And with tennis, we lived in Atlanta from 93 to 99 and then moved to Daytona. And there was a league in Atlanta called ALTA, ALTA. It was the Atlanta Lawn Tennis Association. It was doubles only. Men's doubles, women's doubles, mixed doubles with teams all over. And everybody knows how big Atlanta is. I mean, just all over. And you were graded, all there were levels of skill based on letters and numbers. So A1 was the best players. They were like
Mm,
some collegiate players.
okay.
And then B were good. And then C, high C was still pretty good. So with friends of ours, all of our kids went to school. That's how we knew each other. And we decided to get a tennis team together. And so we started high level, high C, and we did okay. And then we moved up to low B, and things changed there because. So let's talk about high C first. So we got to the city finals for our league, our C1 level. So there's 1,000 people probably played at that level, probably more. And we finished second, and so we got a plate like they do at Wimbledon. See, when you win Wimbledon, they hold up the winner holds up a big plate, loser holds up a smaller plate. But we were tickled pink. I mean, we were 30, so I would have been 34, 35 by then. And, playing in Atlanta in the summertime, it's hot, but I didn't mind heat because I was in good shape. So the hotter, the better because I could play in the heat. I had no problem with that. And I wanted others to have to play in the heat because generally my partner and I would win. And I enjoyed doubles because there was teamwork, strategy, love love teamwork from day one. Enjoyed playing singles, but doubles was it. So then we kept getting better. We had a couple people, and they moved us up 2 levels to like B6 or something like that, B7. And we got to the city finals again. And so we're probably 2 years older now. So I was one of maybe the average age was probably 40 on our team. And we didn't know anything about our opponent because we lived in Tucker on the east side of Atlanta. If you go up 85, you'll pass Tucker. And so we played this team from, I think, the northwest side over on 75. And they came walking out, and it was just a bunch of flat belly college, barely out of college age kids. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because here's what really chapped me about men in sports. They cleaned the court with us. I don't think we won a set. That's
Wow.
how bad they beat us. And I believe I offered some advice, constructive in my mind. I did not use any words and I did not raise my
And you
voice.
were how old?
Probably 35, 36, 36,
Okay.
37.
Okay.
And I congratulated them because they were good, but they didn't belong in B6. They belonged in B1 or A8. But what bothered me was guys in sports who played down to collect trophies. And that still chaps me to this day. If you're a B1 level player, go take your medicine. You go play the people you should be playing against.
This is like a heavyweight playing in a
Yeah,
light,
yeah,
fighting a
yeah,
lightweight,
yeah, yeah,
featherweight.
yeah. And so, look, you go play the people you're supposed to play, and if you win, you win. And if you don't, figure it out and come back next year. But these guys clearly were playing down. The matter with every point we lost, the matter.
Uh,
Like, no, you can't do that. So, but I always thought that it would be nice to play collegiate tennis. But I went to University of Tennessee again, tried out, and ended up winning an intramural campus mixed doubles title. I won that, so that was pretty good. Um, but just looking back on that, and you wonder what would have made me better. And it came down to how much work you want to put in.
woulda, coulda, shoulda.
And I was willing to do what I did a little bit more. I worked at it more than others, not any great percentage but worked at it. I practiced a lot, tried to get better. But I mean the difference between like William Peace is NCAA Division III, where NC State and Carolina are NCAA Division I. So huge difference in skill set, okay, of the players they were. So if you look at the difference between those levels, it just the difference just keeps getting smaller and smaller. It's that minute line, thin line that people are willing to cross with dedication and extra work that gets them there. And I enjoyed doing what I did, but I don't even know if I got much better. If I practiced any harder, it was going to be much better. But looking back, it's still. I mean, I didn't try to go. If I hadn't gotten into Tennessee, I would have gone to UNC Greensboro, and I would have tried to walk on there. I'd had a better shot. Don't know if I would have made it, but it's just funny. And again, back then we're McEnroe and Bjorn Borg
Now, I know these
and all those
names. Yeah.
people. And John McEnroe's an interesting character if you grew up in that day and watched him. And he would berate the ref. He was not the head umpire, and just rude and mean and all that stuff. But I love watching him play because he was so good at the net. He had the softest hands in the world, and playing at the net, he could just take a ball and put it wherever he wanted to. And I love watching that. But yeah, back then we just, hey, all right, here's my McEnroe serve, or here's my Borg. And Bjorn Borg from Sweden had that long blonde hair with the headbands. Like, I mean, very few people can look that good. So, but we would wear the headband. And playing basketball, we always wanted to be Pete Maravich, Pistol Pete. All right. Google this, folks. All right. If you're a sports
Okay.
fan and you're younger, Google Pistol Pete. He was Steph Curry. If you're an NBA fan, he was Steph Curry before Steph Curry because there was no 3-point line back then. He had long hair. He would wear 3 pair of socks. And back in the day, the socks for us had those stripes on. Okay, white athletic socks with the stripes. So guess what? We all started wearing 3 pair of socks. Oh yeah, we all wanted to dress like him, look like him. He could shoot. His dad was the high school coach at Broughton here, and then I think he was an assistant coach at State. His name is Press Maravich. I think Broughton's gym is named after him. That's where Pete played. I'm pretty sure. But there were stories in their house. They had a basement, and he'd send Pete down to the basement, and his dad would turn the light off, close the door, so Pete had no light in there, and he had to dribble up the steps.
Wow.
Yeah. So he got to the point where he never had to look at the ball. Stuff like that. So that's, dedication, stuff like that. But he was the flair he had. But yeah, he would wear 3 pair of socks, and they would be layered so you could see all 9 stripes. And we would do that. Or my mom was like, "Why am I buying you more socks?" But Mom, it's what Pistol Pete wears. Well, and I'm sure young kids today find an athlete in a sport. Hey, I want to, be like them or try to play like them, and they dress
I'm
like
sure
them,
there
whatever.
still are
Oh yeah,
people like that. Yeah.
yeah. But he had so. And needless to say, my mom washed a lot of socks. It was yeah. It was just a lot of fun,
And she didn't mind.
she never complained about that.
Yeah.
No. Yep. But I was no trouble. Now, if I'd have been a pain in the butt son, might have been
Then
you wash
maybe.
your own. Yeah, but I was zero trouble growing up. Middle child, of course, we're all the best. All the middle kids are the best. And I watched my sister and brother decide to test Mom every night because Dad traveled all the time, so he wasn't involved in a lot of this. But they would always, they would tempt Mom. I'm sure you've seen others do that. They would tempt Mom, and they would generally get in trouble. And I thought, huh, I don't tempt Mom. I'm not going to get in trouble. So I never had a curfew. I never stayed out late. I was never a partier, but I never had a curfew. I mean, I'd come and go wherever I wanted to, and drive my sister nuts. So we still laugh about that. She goes, "You're a Mom's favorite." I'm like, "Yeah." "You're Dad's favorite." And she goes, "Yeah."
It, I did
Yeah.
not have to go through stuff like this.
But were there what athletes do you remember watching in soccer? Who'd you like?
The player was the goalie, Hodov. That was his last name,
Okay,
Jacob Hodov, and he used to fly in the air. I
nice.
mean, he would cover every
Yeah.
and the Israeli team went to South America and played, and
Oh,
Pele was
yeah. Yep.
it's but we were more concerned with our team. it's not like you look at those, but the only thing it could do is be jealous.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
It's
Yep.
it's giving you something to go for, but still, it's not. I don't ever remember wanting to be
Yeah.
anybody, and nobody would dare try to do what he did
Oh yeah,
because
you'd
you
hurt
fly
yourself.
and you poof on the dirt. No,
Yeah,
it's tough.
yeah. I don't think we. Yeah, I don't think we did anything like that. But yeah, there were the only soccer. Yeah, we saw Pele on TV once a year, maybe
Yeah,
in
and
something, and so that's the first name we knew.
yeah,
But that was the extent of like, oh, that's on. Oh, he's on again, and we'd watch for a little bit, and then go do our
yeah,
stuff.
because it's not
Yeah.
it's not part of the culture here.
Now we were watching
Yeah,
football back then with all the players back in
yeah,
the '60s and '70s.
you either were playing soccer or basket.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
tennis, that was
The rich.
the
Yeah.
rich.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you, I don't think I ever held a racket in my hand while growing up.
Were you ever a little league coach of any sort?
No, there is no such thing.
Over there, it's not
It's a coach. There is no. I mean, you.
for like when your daughter was 10 or 12.
Oh,
Did she
here?
play anything? Yeah.
No,
Okay. All right.
no, no.
We
The
yep. So my boys played baseball and basketball, and I coached a lot of their stuff. And it was interesting to. There was a guy. So this is the boys pretty much grew up in Daytona Beach, and we would play at there's a league at a church and a league at the rec center. We would alternate playing in. All their friends, everybody. It's a small town, so it worked out well. And there was one dad there who coached. He actually knew his career one-loss record as a little league coach. Like, dude, you got to be kidding me. I don't even know how my team did last year. I don't remember. I just know that no kid quit. Because that's the other thing with coaching. It would bother me to this day still if a kid quit because I was just an, an awful, mean, bad coach.
it's and in I mean, from what you see here in
Oh
movies
yeah,
and on the news,
yeah,
it's there's a lot of politics,
yeah.
and the kids are not having fun. It's
Exactly.
push, push,
Yeah,
push, push, push. I don't
yeah,
know. We were never pushed.
yeah.
I mean, I was at three sports. The main one that I was doing is swimming. Swimming.
Oh yeah, man.
But we were never pushed.
Yeah.
There was a lot of uh, training
Mm-hmm.
and practicing and all that, but you would never hear somebody, oh, do it, never
Yeah.
yelling at you
Oh
or
yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Because when
And
I coached baseball, my whole goal, I really could care less if we won or lost. My whole goal was to make sure every kid scored a run
right,
so they could
that's
tell their
nice.
grandparents,
Absolutely.
Grandpa, did you see that? Grandma, look,
Yeah.
I slid into home. I got my pants dirty because at that age, they want to get dirty. And T-ball is the best level of is the best level of baseball anywhere because the kids, they want to get dirty. And then what's the snack after the game? And they're not looking at the scoreboard. The only way they knew if they won or lost was their parents went, "Hey Jimmy, congratulations, you won." And little Jimmy's like, "Well, what are snacks today?" And kids they just want to slide in the
That's what they
dirt,
want.
get
Yeah.
dirty, and then what's the snack? And we parents told them, "Hey, you won again." They're like, "Okay, yeah,
Which is fun
yeah,
because it's really for the kids to have fun.
yeah." I've seen the two best grandfather moves I've
Oh,
ever seen in life.
okay.
The second best one was on a t-ball field. I'll get to that in a sec. The best one was my dad's dad. They lived in Cleveland, Ohio. We grew up here in Raleigh, so they would come visit at least once a year. And Grandpa did not want to do anything, go anywhere, be asked any questions, make any decision. He just did what our grandmother, we called her Gayo. He did whatever Gayo told him they were doing. He's like, okay, so my mom and Gayo and my brother and sister and I would go somewhere, and Grandpa's like, no, 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 I'm fine staying here. He was just that guy. My grandmother won a trip through, I forget where she won it, to the Isle of Majorca, which is off of
Hmm.
Spain, over New Year's. And Grandpa was invited, said, "No, I don't want to go. I'll miss all the New Year's Day bowl games." Not a people person. Not a people person. So in our house, we had back in the day, a ceramic cookie jar.
Mm-hmm.
And we always had, more than not, we had cookies in there. By the way, chocolate chip cookies, homemade, the best. And as we got older, so this was here in Raleigh, and so my brother and I were getting a little bit older. We're like, I wonder if we can take the top off, get a cookie, put the top back down, and Mom won't hear us.
Mm-hmm.
So that began the game. So we'd grab the top of it, leave the back portion of it touching the bowl, and just raise one side. So you're
Right.
not raising the whole
Like
thing
a
up, right?
hinge.
Yeah. And just opening it, taking a cookie out, and just trying to get it down, right? And we were probably better than we thought we were at it. Or my mom just let us, like, okay, it's a cookie. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can have that. But my brother and I we enjoyed doing that. And so one day, Gayo and Mom and my sister and brother and I went somewhere, and we came back, and Grandpa was at home. Nobody thought anything. And one day he went to get a cookie out of the cookie jar. And my sister watched him do it. And when he put the top down, there was no noise. He had taken Scotch tape and put it on the top of the bowl so he could open it and close it anytime he wanted. Nobody would ever hear. He could steal cookies. And he got busted. This took 2 or 3 days after he did it, the first time when he did it. And when he was busted, that was the proudest. Rarely do I see people with a proud look on their face when they've accomplished something. He was so proud that he got away with that for 3 days. That was the best grandfather move I've ever seen.
Nobody thought about turning the music up.
No, we never thought about that, right? The dude, he probably couldn't eat a whole thing of cookies, all to himself. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
So the next best grandfather move was in a T-ball game. Our youngest son, Cameron, was playing, so this would have been in Atlanta. So he would have been 6, maybe 5 or 6 playing T-ball. And we're getting ready for his game. So the game before his was just about done. And I'm hanging out by the dugout where Cameron's team is going to be. I wasn't coaching this team. And there was a grandfather, real tall, like 6'2", 6'3", grandfather, coaching first base. And Billy, the runner, was on first base, right? And the grandfather said, "Billy, do not run when the ball is hit, do not run until I tell you to run." Billy's like, okay. And so the grandfather turns his attention. I think there's a runner on second. He turns his attention. He's getting ready going. Off the batter hit the ball off the tee, and Billy just stood at first base. And the batter was running to first base. Billy was standing on first base, so they were both on first base when the batter got there. And they threw the ball to the first baseman. He tagged both of them. Okay, and only one of them could be out, but he tagged both. And Billy was called out because he was the lead runner and he didn't move. And the tears from Billy got tagged out. And the grandfather picked him up, carried him over to his team's grand seats where all the parents were on that team. And he said, "Folks, that was my fault. Billy did exactly what he's supposed to do. I told him, do not run until I tell you to run. And I never told him to run. He was a good player. He listened to me. And he's out, and it was my fault." And everybody stood up and clapped. Billy stopped crying, but I thought, classic grandfather move. Just owned it right there.
Absolutely.
And everybody, the umpire's trying to figure out, wait, what are you doing? And he just picked up Billy. They walked over there, and he told him. I thought, that is classic. But Little League is great. One year I was coaching Cameron's team, and, the attention span of a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old is minimal at best. And nobody was hitting ball to our second baseman. It was a windy day. And I look up, and he's bent down with his glove, and he's rubbing his glove through the dirt to get the dirt moving, and it's going up in the wind. It was that windy. He was having the time of his life. He could care less about the game.
So how many parents did you fight with? Or how many coaches did you fight with?
None. I would never do that.
Your parents?
Now, my dad had a mouth on him. Oh, yeah, he'd sit in the stands, and he'd raise hell. When we were playing, but me, when I was coaching, I thought the worst thing I could ever do was get thrown out of a game as a coach. It's like, this is Little League. What could I possibly get so mad at?
Yeah.
And these umpires they're probably making back
That's
15
healthy
bucks a game.
thinking.
Yeah. I didn't want to be that guy because we had a friend of ours whose dad did get thrown out of the game, out of a baseball game, and he had to walk they kicked him out of the facility. So he had to leave, from the field where they're playing. So Travis would have been 14-ish, right around there, 15 maybe. No, probably 12. Sorry, we're still in Atlanta. And he had to walk to the parking lot to get in his car. It was a good 30-second walk, all by himself. He had to do that walk of shame for getting thrown out of a game for Little League. But now I get mad. Don't get me wrong. I get mad, not the umpire making a call, but the umpire being lazy, just like whatever, stuff like that. But I could never do that. But I've seen it happen. It's like, but yeah, T-ball's the best. We had one game. What the batter? We're out in the field, so you've got a first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, third baseman, and pitcher, and the other 9 players. However big your team is, the rest of them were out in the outfield, spread out where. But everybody played in team, which I had no problem. Everybody played. Everybody batted. So one game, a kid on the other team hit the ball all the way to the fence, and so here comes the swarm of little kids. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of our players got there first, put his glove over the ball, and proudly shouted, "Mine," and never picked up the ball, and all the runners just kept running around.
Jeez.
It was so good. But he got there first. That was his ball, and we're just screaming, throw it in, throw it in. Very proud he got there first. It was his ball. But that's what makes T-ball the best level of baseball. Because in his mind, you told me to get the ball. I got the ball.
I got the ball.
Oh, but just so funny. So I enjoyed that, coaching and stuff. But yeah. So anyway, those are the fun stories about growing up playing sports and just looking at Ryan and to be able to play at a collegiate level, NCAA Division III, junior college. To me, it doesn't matter if you're playing college sports. Tip of the hat to you because you put in some good work and something good happened. But you put in the good work to make that happen. So if you have any kids or nieces or nephews or friends that are looking to do that, man, give them all the encouragement you want because he feel the confidence he's had this past year during the season with the growth. He's bigger. They got him on a weight plan. He's eating all he wants because they work it off with the running and the weightlifting and everything. But just the confidence of an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. Anyways, I want to share that story.
Nice.
Yeah, and I got thinking about growing up and all the times we thought, "Ooh, I'm going to be good at this." It's like, no. I was good at my level and enjoyed the tennis. I really enjoyed golf. I got better. I could never hit the ball a long way, and I had a friend of mine in Daytona Beach pull me aside one day and said, "You're never going to hit the ball a long way. Meet me at the putting green tomorrow and bring your wedge and your putter, and we're going to work on your short game, chipping and putting." And as soon as I did that, I went from constantly like shooting 93, 94, 95 to shooting 79, 78, 77 because I could chip and putt, save strokes. It worked. So if you're a golfer and you know you're not going to hit it far, work on a chipping and putting. And I started taking people's money then. That was fun. I used to pay people because I'd shoot 95. Even with all the strokes I get, I would lose money. But you start shooting 77. Graduate's a Muni course, so let me state that this was not Augusta or something like that. But still, you start shooting that, and they have a bad day, is easy money. I enjoyed that very much.
Yeah.
But anyways, we will have a guest for you the next few weeks, and hope this Tuesday slot works good for you. Appreciate you coming over with us. And we will see everybody next time on Triangle BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com, and deltaforce.net.